Start. So welcome you guys to the second webinar of Living Heart First. So why don't we start by just hearing from everybody. I'm just curious as to what have you noticed in the last couple weeks with yourself or with other people? How was what was shared in the first webinar maybe supportive, or you're able to utilize the information? And yeah, whatever, I guess whatever's there. So those are just some things that kind of jump off the board here. So I'll just actually start first because our last meeting was January 6th and my mom passed on the 8th. So it's been a huge whirlwind here. We're gonna welcome in Anita here too. It's been a huge whirlwind for me. And, you know, as prepared as you feel like you are, you just never are until you experience something. So let's kind of start there and breathe into that. So I've always said there's nothing that beats experience here on Earth School. And we can know something, but until we have gone through it ourselves, we really don't know it. So, hey Patty, welcome. So anyway, so what I was saying is no matter how prepared you are for an event, you're never really prepared until you experience it. It's been interesting for me because there was the human part of letting go of my mother. She's my mom, I'm her daughter, you know, the family will never be the same, and all these things that occur on this human level. And then side by side with that, I have walked this grief consciously as a soul. So let's breathe into that, because I feel like what's coming out of my mouth right now is really we can overlay that in just about anything we're experiencing. If you're on this call, you are having this human experience, and you are being asked to walk it aware. Welcome, Kathy. You're being asked to walk this aware as a soul. And this is where it's becoming very, very, very different than anything we have ever done before. Because how do you straddle, in a way, both those lines? How do you keep your humanness human and without just dismissing it or discounting it? And then how do you keep the soul awareness growing? So let's kind of breathe into that. So keeping the human experience human, and then having the soul experience grow. So hang on one second here. All right, thanks you guys. For those of you that get the next level, Mara's here. She's trying to record it, but then my phone did an update, so the phone looks different. My favorite word right now, or my favorite line I always say to her, I go, how come everything's changing? So let's breathe into that, because that's certainly what is occurring here. So as I was saying, is we are walking both worlds here. We're having this human experience, and yet we are being asked to allow the soul to be in front and navigate this and expand our consciousness and work through the human. So that's a very different way of operating than what we have done in the past. And so with regards to my mom's passing, you know, it's interesting because you see the whole, I see the whole of her journey. I see that she was tired. She was not done. She wanted to move on to next, whatever that was going to mean. And I'm still her daughter. And I lost a mom. And we have to go through her physical things and all that entails. And so the emotions, and this is why those core 4 emotions are so critical, is the glue that melds the human and the soul together. So breathe into that, because I feel like I got this in like a whole new way dealing with this new layer of grief. Is that it really is these emotions, the energy of anger, the energy of sadness, the energy of worry, the energy of lonely, experiencing those through the heart and acknowledging them and then letting them go is the glue where the soul is able to, I'm hearing like, enter the physical vehicle stronger, more solidly. So if anything I've been aware of in January thus far is even paying attention to the slightest thread of those emotions. It's pretty easy to acknowledge the blatant ones that come right in your face, but these, even just a subtle sadness, just to kind of breathe it through and acknowledge, wow, there's sadness again. We're actually being asked to fine-tune our emotional dial here. And I really feel that the timing of this was no accident for me in my soul's journey, because it really has put it on the front and center. And yet, it's not something I can, how do I want to say this? I want to say get caught up in, like, I have to keep moving. So it's just been really interesting for me, because I am feeling all these different things that show up, and you know how you have memories, and then sometimes that can evoke an emotion. But as we move through this month, more and more of the soul grief, which is what I feel like I'm doing more of, is very different than how we used to experience human grief. So let's breathe into that. Because you can experience grief losing your favorite pen. It doesn't have to be something major. We really are experiencing grief in many, many different ways, all the time. So with that, I just kind of wanted to share that. And I don't know how to say this. It's very strange, because the way I feel the sadness, the way I feel the anger or lonely or worry is at a different place, if that makes any sense. It's like my relationship with these emotions has shifted. And a lot of that has to do with these emotional portals that we've gone through this month so far. So I'm going to pause there, and I'm going to open up the room for everybody to kind of just connect your energy. And we want to hear from your beautiful soul light and your soul heart. And just go ahead and share whatever's there. And we've got some new faces that weren't here last week, so we're excited to connect with you guys physically. So let's start with, I'm going to start with Jennifer Starbright. We don't even have to say that, because Jennifer Miller won't be able to make it tonight. So welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thank you. As you know, Julie, my father passed on September 30th. So the things you just said, I'm really kind of marinating in. So I've been going through a process since then, obviously. And as you probably all know, grief comes in waves. And I had another wave this morning. And it's interesting how it has a different flavor kind of every time, a little bit. So it shifts and morphs, and I don't understand it. But you'd asked how we've been in the last few weeks, and it's hard to even put into words because it feels like so much has been shifting in me, in my life, and in the world, and I'm hanging on. I'm riding the wave. I'm doing the best I can. I'm so grateful for your wisdom and the tools that you share with us. I go to those, and they help me. And I know that today is another big day with the eclipse and everything, and the rest of the month. And while I'm feeling my emotions and working through things, I feel like I'm moving towards more light at the same time.
Nice.
Which hasn't always been there for me. So yeah, that it feels nice. So I'm feeling like I'm riding a surfboard, but it's okay.
Yeah, and that is what we're being asked to do, is be a surfer. So let's all just send Jennifer some heart energy right now to support her in this continual changing time here. Nice. Beautiful, you guys. This is why we're doing this. It's awesome.
I felt that. Thank you.
You felt it too, didn't you, honey? Oh, great. I'm so glad. Okay, why don't we go to Lauren? I know you're going to get up. She's like, what? I'm going to go to you next, I guess.
I was just going to kick my dog out of the office here. But
oh, it's all good.
I've had kind of a mellow past 2 weeks. Just kind of a bit of lack of energy and motivation to get what I need to get done. But yeah, just kind of hanging out and going back to the last meeting that we had, relying on there's a perfect amount of a time for essential or what needs to get done. So.
Yeah. And how is that, having that consciously, how has that supported you? How have you maybe shifted your pattern around how you used to navigate your world?
Yeah,
knowing that.
Yeah, just kind of lets me relax a little bit and not be so anxiety, just worrying about stuff. So
good. Well, good. Welcome. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks.
I'm going to bring Kathy. She's bringing in some lovely Idaho energy. There's Kathy from Idaho. Welcome, Kathy.
Oh, hey.
So glad you're joining us.
Oh, me too. I'm excited. Gosh, what do I want to share? Just that kind of reopening the awareness of not stuffing my emotions, because I was so good at that before, and I kind of put a little bit more time into my morning routine, where I take some time to see what I need to go through, what I become aware of, and what I would like to pay some attention to. And it's been really good.
Good. Yeah. You'll never regret anyone spending that extra 5 minutes on you. I'm just saying, it's the best dividends you can pay yourself right now. Morning, night, whatever. We're just going to reap amazing rewards from that. The time, and a lot of times it doesn't take a lot of time. It just takes our awareness and our refocusing on us. So so we're happy to have you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sue, why don't you share next?
I guess I've had kind of the last couple of weeks kind of been a bit different. I've been doing a lot of teaching, substitute teaching recently. And as a result, I don't know, I was in a classroom Monday on the 14th. Sorry, I'm going to back up. I was on the 11th, Friday, and I went back to teach for her again because she took ill. I went into her room, and it was interesting. Over the weekend, I had gotten something very odd. Very odd. It was a very quiet weekend, really nice, actually. I did a lot of just being able to get into myself, but ended up getting something. And as I was teaching for her classroom, I lost my voice. And so the following day, she came in that evening. She said, "Can you teach half day tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Well, I'd like to. I'll try. I'll see if I can." In the meantime, I met with you, had a treatment, and it was just not going to happen. And so, one of the things you had said is, you have to take care of yourself first. Did that, stayed home, ended up being in bed on the next 2 days, the next day for sure, and half of it, pretty much the next day. Thursday and Friday, starting to come out of it. This whole last weekend has been with grandkids. Really just a lot of stuff. And I remember one of the other things you had suggested is the journaling. And I've started to really commit to that. And I am noticing something different with that. It is doing something in my body. I know our bodies speak to us, and it's freeing up something. I've not ever, I've given, thought time to it. I've never given like pencil to paper time. Mm-hmm. And there's something unique with that I'm noticing. And I don't want to give that up now that I've discovered that it actually can do more in terms of discovery, just self-discovery of the emotions. And so I guess I just need to be more aware. I don't know what all of this spoke to me this last week, but whatever, I guess
Yeah. And I'm just gonna, if you don't mind, because conscious languaging is part of this experience. Right. And so much of our phraseology has been ingrained or unconscious. So you said, "I need to." Oh, I can. And so we're just gonna lovingly catch those phrases. Yeah. And because we really need is of the illusion. You're choosing to, right?
Right. I am choosing to.
Yeah. And then notice how that feels in your body when you change it from "I need to," which feels like push energy, right? To "I'm choosing to." Big difference, isn't it?
Right. I think though, for me, why I say need still, I really have a way, I can't get away from it, is because I'm finding now that I find it necessary. So
Sue, let's just do an energy exercise here for your body, because this is really, it's all about you and your body. Mm-hmm. This is the vehicle that's helping you ascend here. Right. So if you just close your eyes and say out loud, "I need to," and tune in and just see what body does with that energy.
Mm-hmm. So I need to.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now say, "I choose to."
I choose to. It's a tighter feeling with a need and a freer flow to choose.
Right. Because remember, everything has threads. This is a quantum field. Mm-hmm. So quantum entanglement. So you say need in this now moment, it's triggering all the time. This body was told it needed to do something. Mm-hmm. Do you feel this? Right. And so it's bringing all that, like a better word, stress, energetically back into the body.
So, okay, as a teacher, I'm curious, how would you frame telling children, that, okay, this is coming up next, whatever, the schedule dictates.
It is time to.
Okay, so you just say it is time.
It is time for this. It is time for us to put our books away. It is time for us to get ready for the bus. It is time for us to go to lunch. Okay. You want to allow time to
Okay.
be the director.
Sure.
So one of the things that came, this phraseology comes through during my sessions, and that's why I feel so honored by everybody I get to participate with. But it said, truth is our ruler now.
Mm-hmm.
Time is our director. So we can breathe into that. Truth is our ruler now, and time is our director. That was powerful. I mean, when that came through, I go, whoa, I feel that everywhere, and to me, that's so clear. Oh yeah, truth is ruling now, and time is our director. Time is directing this show of when time knows what it's time for. And that just lets our human relax, like Lauren was saying. Then you're just not feeling pushed. It's so obvious. I had that document on my awareness. I just emailed it to you guys on the human versus soul that we discussed last time. Hopefully you just got it in your email. But it wasn't that hard, but it wasn't time. And then all of a sudden I heard, oh, it's time to do it. So I sat down. It like no time. Mm-hmm. It was out, and then I got it off an email. It just was effortless. Mm-hmm. But I don't know how come it had to be that hour or this day, or do you feel this? Like there's all this alchemy that's always working with us.
Yeah.
And so, and it really is, boy, it's cool if you let the particles around us do the mixing and not try to force it. And so that's where all our magic comes. That's when things just show up effortlessly. So I'm just going to interject here because I went down, my three sisters from California flew in Thursday night, and I was coming down on Friday, and we were going to meet. My aunt was taking us all out to lunch, and that was to be at 11. And my knowing was I was to leave about, or I thought, it was kind of in my awareness, about 8:30. There was nothing in me that could get out of the house before 9:20. And I was like, wow, I might even be late for the lunch. You know what I mean? Like it was just like, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I'm late. It was like, wow, I wonder how come I'm late. Like I didn't know the reason, but I knew that it didn't matter how organized I was, or, you know what I mean? It was like, oh, do this, do this. I was just getting directed to do other things. And then finally it's 9:20. I got to go, and it started. They had a lot more snow down there. They got like 6 to 8 inches. And so it was like a snowstorm by the time I arrived there. And I'm driving into the driveway just as my sister was going to pull out and go to the church. It was perfect timing. So, you know what I mean? Like, it was like we couldn't have planned it any better. Mm-hmm. So that's just one example. But if my human would have played with my need and said, well, no, I need to, I got to get, I don't know. I don't know what would have occurred, and so much of this is really trusting the promptings of your soul and knowing you're getting there when at that time you are. You don't know what you're missing. And it might be a nice thing you're missing it. So yeah, thanks for that. And thanks again for being a leader, Sue, because remember, a leader is somebody who's willing to learn in front of others. Mm-hmm. So, okay, Patty. Hi, welcome.
Hi, good evening. So I appreciate that reminder, allowing it to happen, not forcing it to. I mean, that's just great concept, surrender to what's supposed to happen. So my last 2 weeks, I've tried to focus. I have found time to spend on me. I actually was digging out some old journals and going through some old notes from some of our sessions. And I just felt at peace during this time. As with you, there's a lot of grief. You know, I've had some close friends also have some significant losses, and being able to be grounded to send them that heart love, you know, it's been helpful. So I wish there was more I could do, you know, for the grief that feels like it's surrounding, you know. And like you said, there's different levels and we deal with it all the time, but it's been a lot in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it really is. There's a lot of grief out there.
Yeah.
So, well, thanks for sharing, Patty, and we're so happy you're here. Karen, why don't you join us?
Okay. Hi, everybody. These last 2 weeks, I've experienced so many different levels of examples of human versus soul. One in particular, though, was in our backyard. We've been getting deer in just about every night at sunset, and we get anywhere from 4 to 7 deer. And yesterday, we had some friends coming over at 6, but I recognized that they were coming out in about maybe 4:30, 5 o'clock, and there was 2 bucks along with 2 other deer. And I had some music. My brother gave me a playlist on Spotify, and it had some music going, and it's different music than I've ever heard. And this one song came on, and it brought up all this emotion as I watched these 2 buck look around, and then one by one, they each decided to lay down in the back there and just rest. And it was the most beautiful thing. And I felt like I was witnessing this miracle, this magic of because I looked up deer as a spirit animal too, and the buck in particular, because it grows antlers and then it loses them. It's a symbol of transformation, of the fact that letting go of the old, you can rebirth and birth to new. And it was like, I just was bawling. I was just crying so hard. It was just, but it was such a relief, and it was such a way of honestly letting go of a lot of anger and a lot of grief. And I felt this sense of renewal in my body and just everything. It was such a gift, absolutely such a gift. And that's what I've been getting these last 2 weeks is, you know, those kinds of moments, and then other kinds of moments that are maybe letting go of negative energies. And there's been a lot, but each time I go, okay, what is this teaching me? What am I to learn from this? And when I found the gifts and all of that, it's been joyful. I mean, I look back and go, wow, this is a lot, and yet feel like I'm getting new tools in my toolbox.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
All right, Anita, are you there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello?
We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Oh, yeah. I'm hiding as usual.
Well, stop that. Well, what do you want to share, Anita?
Well, I don't know. Went to a thing yesterday at Mary Beth. It was really rather interesting. And there was about 25 of us, but she gave us all a small reading, you know. So it was really kind of an odd kind of reading. So I'm kind of in an odd place. I just am kind of like, I don't know, weirded out. So, but otherwise things have been going pretty good. Got a little cold, so I must be clearing something.
Yep, that's what colds do. They're a recalibration tool.
Yeah, here we go. So anyway, I don't know. Not too much going on.
Okay. Well, we're happy that you could join us tonight. Thank you. And I just want to say something about colds. Cold, if you look at the code, we want to talk about the codes here. So colds are C, old. You see
Oh.
what's old. That's how come the soul brings on a cold. It is a recalibration tool. It really is.
Yeah.
That's why they'll never find a cure to the common cold, because
Yeah.
it is about recalibration, and it helps you pause and go inside and see old. So, you know, if you get a cold, it's not because you haven't been taking care of yourself necessarily or whatever. I mean, sometimes that is the case for people that are maybe not as aware. But there's a lot happening right now with our physical body and our vehicle. So let's kind of just start there and breathe into that. This month is all about the physical. So every month that it's in your forecast too, that Mara's been putting out, but every month is going to be highlighted a different aspect. And so with everything that's been occurring this month, it's been to help support and integrate the physical vehicle. If you could experience when your body talks to you in some kind of way other than ideal health, let's say, what if you could welcome whatever brought you first instead of trying to jump to try to get rid of it?
Yeah.
You know, what if we could just welcome it and thank body, thank it for how it's signaling to you it's time to see old or whatever it is. Slow down, reflect, whatever. Take time for you, because really that's what any time you get sick is about really going back inside, because something's out of alignment.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to put that out there, because in this ascension process, the body will talk loudly. And we're at a place now where it's really trying to flush toxins. I mean, we're in this physical part of the journey. Now, I just want to share that Kathy, Kathy, if you would just share your website or your Facebook page. Kathy does an amazing job with educating people about releasing toxins in their bodies and stuff like that. Why don't you just quickly share your website, Kathy?
I will. Can I put it in the chat? Would that be good?
put in the chat, or we can add it to the email too. I can put it in. But I definitely have you go to Kathy's page and follow her. She puts out a lot of great content for free. She does a lot of Facebook videos and stuff, educating you about toxins in your body and all that kind of stuff. So it's really it's really important to pay attention to these toxins. Now, when I have that quantum biofeedback instrument or laptop, and one of the things that always would come up is this mental retention of toxins. So breathe into that, mental retention of toxins. So at first I was like, what is that? But our mental thinking has held toxins in the body. And so a lot of times it's consciousness that has to take it out. You know what I mean? So that's where, literally our beliefs, our thinking can hold toxins in our body. Do you feel that, you guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's amazing. So that's part of that human soul document I put out, because it's a great checklist, if you will. Where am I? Where am I right now? Am I playing human, or am I embodying soul?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's a good checklist for somebody else you might be encountering that you're having an issue with. that's showing up. Because you can go, oh yeah, they're just playing human. And you can have feelings about how they're playing that. But it really keeps you out of judgment and keeps you moving.
Yeah.
You moving with you.
Yeah.
So I just want to say that with the body, we just put out tonight a really important document that Mara put out. I want everybody to breathe, because it's, it's not anything we don't know. It's just more.
Mm-hmm.
And those that do not want this to occur have upped their game.
Mm-hmm.
Again, breathe. So first thing, I'm just going to share what she did with my phone. She took the case off, took a scissors, and etched it.
Wow.
Cut the energy, whatever it was they're doing.
Hmm.
So you be with that, whatever that is, looks like for you. I could feel it immediately.
Hmm.
Does it matter if it's on the front or the
this
back?
is all about, I did on the back.
Back. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't have to do the front of your phone. Thank heaven. Nice question, though, Kathy. You never know with us. Because we always allow. Hang on a second, guys. Mara says hi. She's bringing her energy in. She can't really be on this webinar, but she makes the presence known. So anyway, yeah, so we just put out, in fact, maybe I can just read it to you guys if you don't mind. Hang on a second here. All right.
Julie, was it the brain one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one. Well, remember, we've been doing all this brain stem stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense. And, massaging the occiput, we like to call it occiput. I know it's occipital, but it wants to be called occiput in our world. Massaging that is very, very important. So what the document says is Magenta Express shares keep up. We are going through some juxtapositioning of our brains. This is true for the next 4 months. It will bring us into greater alignment with the cosmic support, which will greatly increase in April. To integrate this, take care of your brain. Each day, take time to massage your skull wherever it's at, asking for it. Take care of your brain, shield it from electromagnetic frequencies. Support your pineal expansion by focusing on the one dream that is the planned ascension. Be aware that the Illuminati has a new apparatus that works through cell phones and randomly targets parts of our brain. Take care of your brain, honor your emotions, and follow your heart. Blessed be the one remembering. Love, Magenta Express. So,
Julie,
yes.
you're saying even the protective pieces that you and Mara have created
You want to do something in addition now.
is okay.
It's again, that was brought through before this.
Okay.
It was made to, and it's not that it doesn't help. It's an EMF, like anything.
Right.
Anybody's done to now helps, but you want to do an additional step to show that you are consciously saying no, interrupting it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just You know, people have their phones in their hands all the time. And using the head, if you do, you know, really, I caution you not to put it up by your ear. If you, it all can help. But get a good set of headphones so that you can do that, or have it on speaker. So, okay. All right. Let's go on to more fun things now. That just felt important. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about we're gonna talk a little bit about the clock and what it means, because time is our director, so we want to know about the clock. Now, those of you that have been with us for a while, you know we had the human soul clock, which was here for a long time. And there's new layers through all this ascension and reassembling. I'm not going to go through those codes right now. What I'll do is add a document for the human, because it's morphed. So you can have it as reference that was something that was, but it's really not relevant right now. Okay. I will go through the soul, the second layer of the clock, and that's the one we've been working with all of last year and into the start of this year. So if the numbers support us in many, many, many different ways, and I'm going to come back to the word is the word is the word. So just breathe into that. The English language is coded beyond measure for this triggering of remembering. And each word means all the meanings. So when you say two, you are also activating the code of TWO, TO, TOO. Is there another one? Did I hit all three? Yeah, and the number two, and the numeral two. So that's a lot of different energy that gets put into just that one word. Okay? So we're talking about one all the time, right? One. Well, it's O-N-E. It's the number one. And what do you suppose the other meaning is?
One.
W. Yep.
One.
W-O-N. One. So when you say one, it means we've also won. W-O-N. This. Okay, does this make sense? Does this make sense how you can go? Okay, so with the soul clock, one stood for passionate. That was the code of one. And again, if you don't have this, I'll put it up in a document so you guys can have it in writing too. Two is clarify. Three, peace. Now, I will share with you, three was the only one that didn't change from the human clock to the soul clock. It stayed the same. Four, unity. Five, power times power times power.
You're talking about the old clock now?
That we're talking the second layer.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So before five was courage, right?
Yes. Okay. Yep. Got it. Yep. Thank you.
Uh-huh. And actually, I guess I could go through that if you. Do you guys, Lauren, who else doesn't know the original clock? Jennifer, you probably could use a review. Okay, so one was passion. Let's go back to human. Sorry, you guys. One was passion. Two was clarity. Three was peace. Four was unity. Five was courage. 6 was acceptance. 7 was ease, E-A-S-E. 8 was freedom. 9 was love, but it's the lowercase love, the human ooey gooey love. Okay. 10 was patience. 11 was memory. 12 was brilliance. And then also the center of the clock is 13. And that was power on the human clock. And there was something you did. You went inside the clock. Once you rocked around the clock, you came down into your power, and then you actually went inside. And so there were 3 spaces in there. So the 13 is the next one. So we keep counting. Okay. So 14 would be what we call essence. And that's when you merge the human soul essence together. The 3 shall become one. Okay, that was 14. 15 was the divine child. But it also represented, well, I'll get back to that in a minute. And then 0 was home. So 16, sweet 16, right? Home sweet home. Okay, does everybody get that? Mm-hmm. Okay, so then we evolved, or we moved last year at the beginning of the year into the soul clock. So now 1 became passionate, 2 became clarify, 3 became peace, 4 is unify, 5 is power times power times power, 6 is surrender, 7 is easy, 8 is freed, 9 was set, S-E-T, like something sets into place, right? Or sets into motion. 10 is patient. 11 was 3 words: recollect, recall, and remember. And 12 is expand. So just kind of breathe into that right now. And my battery is running low, so I may have to change devices. We'll see how long this lasts. So if whatever, I'll be back. Oh, okay, let's do inside then. So 13, which was power, it became acceleration. 14 became obvious. 'Oh no, I'm gonna have to go get my phone. 15 became code. Just put code there for now. We'll do more on that. And 16 is done. Now, if you got the forecast in January, Mara just gave you on that last update the the essential clock, because it morphed again. It's going into more. So how I experienced the difference between the human clock and the soul clock was that when we moved into soul clock, it became about action. Before it was more like concepts. But now the soul had to move into action.
Okay, where's everybody else, Karen? Did it kick everybody off?
I see them up top.
Huh? Oh, you do. I can't. I only see you. That's interesting.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Hang on a sec here. Okay. Wow, I'm back, but I only see Karen. That's interesting. So can you guys see me?
I
Kind
can
of.
see you.
Why? Oh, she must have it. Hang on, I gotta clear the lens.
Yeah.
Oh, because we have the star on it. I still have my sticker on it. There. That's probably why. That's funny.
There you go. That's
Okay.
it.
All right. All right. Does anybody have any questions on that? On the clock. So what you want to be aware of is now we've gone to this third level. And that came in with the forecast.
Mm-hmm.
So one is now what? One, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a Karen there?
I do, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Yep.
I might refer to it if I don't have it by memory yet. But so 1 is WON. It's now 1. So when you see a 1, like say it's 1 o'clock in your day, so the 1 o'clock hour, your essence is asking you to win something. Like maybe this has been a challenge for you, and now it's time to win it, to know that you've won this challenge or won through something. So now 2 is it's clarity. Clear. That's
Clear.
right. It's just plain clear.
Just plain clear. Yep.
Just plain clear. And isn't that essential? The essence of clarity is just clear. Things 2 o'clock, your 2 o'clock hour, it's just asking you to be clear. Today I left my home. The license plate in front of me was 222. I'm like, okay, I will be clear, clear, clear. You know? And I was left 9 o'clock in the morning. So it was set upon this course, which is 9 o'clock. So I was being asked to be clear about the course I was set myself. I think how this is starting to work with us. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So 3 is just up, UP. That's why every time you hit that 3 o'clock hour, you're asked to go up. So be aware that that happens twice a day. And for most of us, one of them we're laying down, right? We're in our rest time. So if you're going to be asked essentially to go up at 3 o'clock in the morning now, what do you want to do before you lay you down? You want to be very clear and make sure you cleaned up your day emotionally before you go to bed. Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
Okay. One of the most important things you can do, particularly now in this soul accountability, that's what I keep hearing, is we are in soul accountability now. Our essence is keeping not just our human, but our soul accountable. And that's like a whole nother level. So 3 is up. And then we have 4. 4 is unify.
Unite.
Or unite. Thank you.
Yep. That's okay.
Unite. So now you're just to unite things. You get to 4 o'clock, it's all about, and if you start looking at your clock, you got that, you just follow the code. It's a progression. 5 is interesting. How did she put it on that sheet?
She's got power up.
She has power up there.
Yeah.
Yep. So now it's just powering up. It's taking your power up to the next level. So you see 555. You're going to be asked to be standing in your power. 6 is render. RENDER. Well, to me, render is way beyond surrender.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure what it says in the dictionary, but it is beyond surrendering. It is. There will be a rendering here. I grew up on a farm. The rendering truck would come to pick up the cattle, and that's how they, took care of them. So it's like there's a rendering here, which means that anything, it's just going to be. It's going to be what it's going to be. So, and that's at 6.
Can I also add something, Julie?
Sure.
Because in design, a rendering is actually a creation. It's a drawing of something new. And
I
so,
love it. Thank you. Thank you
Mhm.
for adding
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
So actually, and then if you look at the position of the clock, right, where 6 is, it's
Mhm.
halfway around. So doesn't
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
That if you have to surrender something, then you can start doing something new on the
Mhm.
other side. And so 7, you accessed easy.
Eased.
Oh, it's eased.
Eased.
EASED now.
ED. Yep.
I'm still on soul clock, I guess.
Yeah. A little.
A little bit on soul. Okay. And then 8 is just free.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, last year, our whole year, what we were doing is to free the soul from the illusion. So it was a 1-8 year. So if we look at the soul clock, it was actually asking us to have passionate about being freed. And that by the end of the year, what we were being asked to be in a place to access it was 1881. So, 1 free, and then freedom 1. It's the WON. That was the big change between 18 into 19, because we started going into that 1, WON. All right. So then we have, let's see, on 8, 9.
Mm-hmm.
9 is now set upon this course.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to your 9s.
Yeah.
Essence is saying, are you set upon this course? You don't want the essence to set you on your course. You want to be set upon the course that is to be. And then 10 is now ready. There's no more patience here. You just must be ready.
So is it now
do you feel
ready
that?
or just
It's
ready?
just ready. Just
Okay.
ready. Yep, it's just ready. You hit that 10, it's ready.
Yeah.
And I find that fascinating. There's no more patience. There's no more waiting.
Mm.
It's just ready. So, and 11 is move. MOVE, move. $12 is
Go.
go. Yeah, just go. So if you look at those last 3 numbers, it's ready, move, go. Do you feel that? Can you feel your essence saying that? Ready, move, go. 13 is now energize. So it's going to energize whatever you ready, move, go. And then 14 is alignment. It changes itself. So there's part of what we're doing is we're moving out of linearity. Okay.
Absolute.
Oh, I'm sorry. Absolute. Yeah. Thanks, Karen.
Yep, no problem.
So we're moving out of this linearity, absoluteness, into whatever's going to take to set upon this course, the one vision. So why don't you read that for me, Karen, what she has written there?
Yeah, she's got goes with absolute. Then she has a /ly, so absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Another / shun, so absolution.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it will, depending upon where you are at, it will play or call in either one of those. Absolute, absolutely, or absolution. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then 15 is the align, right?
No, advance.
Advance, that's right. So it's what? Advance, advancement.
Uh-huh. And advance meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So same thing there. Depending upon where you're at, you're going to either be experiencing advance, advancement, or advancement to be. And then 16 is truth. All caps. It's just truth. So how can you let these support you through your day now? Well, I just shared with you one way, and that's to, pay attention. Pay attention to what hour you're in. Pay attention to what that is, what's going to be called forth for you. If you have a situation that comes up, and you're like, wow, what was that about? You can go back to this code and say, wow, this is what my essence is asking of me to move into.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and the same with, when you get the numbers. I'm not big on memorizing, but this is very helpful to have readily recallable.
Yeah.
It is. So make yourself a little cheat sheet or whatever you want to do so you kind of have it. Because it will really help keep you tracking and keep you conscious in your process of what is showing up. Does anybody have any questions?
The move, Julie, is that about shifting?
Yes.
Is that about?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's moving. It's like, it's sometimes I've found since I've been working with this is all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's time. Oh my gosh, I can finally, it's time. I get to do this. Or, all of a sudden, sometimes you're just going to move stuff in your room. You know what I mean? Or I don't know, move will look a lot of different ways. But yeah, you're just all of a sudden go. So, okay. So those are the working codes right now for the numbers. And it's just very, very helpful to have that, because start playing with that. And, you know me, you guys, I just like to make it a game. And so when you see those double, triple letters or numbers in front of you, or 1111 on the clock or whatever, you'll have a better conscious understanding of what is trying to be relayed to you from the universe. Okay?
So today's date is 1202019.
All right. Do you want to decode that?
Sure. One clear home.
There
Clear
you go.
home. One set upon this course.
Yeah. Do you feel that? So let's all
Yeah.
breathe into that.
Yeah.
And this is an eclipse.
Yeah. So.
And that's the code. So yeah, and this is I think somebody said it was a red moon, or I mean, so you got, it is red, it is written in there.
Oh, yeah.
Mooner is all about amping up emotions.
Okay.
Eclipse is about cutting away anything that doesn't serve. It's a big, big day. And be aware, tomorrow it will be bigger.
Oh. But it's called a super blood wolf moon.
Yeah. And wolf is teacher in animal medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to teach us.
Yeah.
It's going to teach us.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. So how many people feel worried? Anybody feel worried? A little worried? Well, sometimes when all that stuff stacks up, I go, oh my, I feel worried, because I want to make sure I get it all. But it's what I want to say is we are picking up speed here as we move into the next 2 weeks of the month, the last 2 weeks of January. So If you are wanting to experience this next time with the least amount of fallout, pay attention to your day-by-day forecast. Give yourself that time to journal, like Sue was saying, how much she's gotten out of it. And that there is something so magical with pen to paper, because our hands are an extension. They are our external hearts. And they plug right into your heart. And so by using your hand to write with, that's why some of these ahas can come through that you might not have otherwise, consciously. And give yourself permission to not have to have it make sense. It doesn't have to be in sentences. You should see, sometimes I write the same word over and over and over and over again. It's just the same word, just keeps going. Sometimes they can fill up a page. And then because there's something essential for me to get with that word. Sometimes it looks like scribbling, or, letting hand just doodle, or whatever it wants to do. You're always moving energy when you use a pen. If we want to be with it, pen to paper is one of the greatest forms of alchemy we have. So if we go back to this soul alignment, heart first living, one of the ways that you can best live soul aligned and heart first is by taking that time to connect with you through this tool of writing. And let's go a little deeper with the word codes here. When you write, what do? You spell out words, correct? The word spell is in there. So you're actually casting spells with your words. No one's ever going to write the same again.
No, not at all.
Do you see why it's not the same if you type it in a computer?
Yeah. That's definitely not.
Okay. So how does that feel for everybody? Good?
Yeah.
Okay. What I want to share is a process that I have done. Continuing to work with your little one is really important, because so much of stuff is coming up to be purged, and it almost always goes back to her, your little one inside. And this is, let's see, I'm going to turn this around and see if I can show you. This is in my notebook. Let's see if we can do this here.
Oh.
You got it? Can you see it?
Yeah.
So what I did is I was sitting with this, it's not my fault. When you grow up in a large family, no one wants to be blamed for something, right? And especially when it wasn't your fault. And so I remember that was the gift of having a lot of people, is you could say, well, it wasn't my fault, so-and-so did it. Because there was a lot of other people to choose from. But let's breathe into that. It's not my fault. I had no idea this was here. What I started doing is my little girl started drawing herself out. And what I wrote was, it is not my fault that I had to wear glasses by age 2. And it cost my parents money. I was the only one that had glasses. And if anything was a crisis, and they were always in that place of not enough, there was some part of my little one that felt guilty that she was putting an extra financial burden on the family by wearing glasses. Now, I'd never uncovered that one before. And then she drew herself a little bigger, and it was another age. And what did I put? Oh, it's not my fault that I was taking out the kitty scraps like Mom asked, and they tripped me, and I cut my hand, and I had to have 36 stitches. Now, I was 4. But you look at, wow, there was some part of me that felt guilty that I cost my parents money because nobody went to the doctor. We grew up, we didn't go to doctors. So, but that was a deal, right? So it's just important, whatever that belief is, whatever's showing up, and only you will know, to really start playing with this. And I found this exercise really, really helpful. So then I went into, wow, it's not my fault. What was the next one? Oh, it's not my fault that I went to go play in the snow and lost my glasses.
Wow.
Because of course, we really didn't have a whole lot of supervision. And, when you go play in the snow, your glasses fog up and you can't see. So I put them in my pocket. Well, the coats in those days didn't have deep pockets. They had these little flaps over them or something, and they fell out. So I come in, my mom's like, Julie, where's your glasses? I go, oh, I don't know. They're in my pocket. I go to get them, and they weren't there. And so then that was a deal. But you may want to, it went on and on for about, I had 6 different things that I could say at different ages. Up to the point it came out that it's not my fault that I got divorced. Now, I never considered it was my fault before. But I didn't even know that whatever level that was even there until I started writing and drawing it out. So my invitation to you is, if you have something that is coming up or swirling around, check in with your little one. Close your eyes and breathe. See what age she might show herself as, and see if it doesn't play out as a thread. It was very powerful and very helpful to me. Does that sound good? Does everybody understand what I was doing?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. What time are we at, Karen? I don't think I have my time
We're
here.
at 8:20.
Okay. Yeah. So let's just take these last 10 minutes and just kind of bring this all back around. Now, if you notice, this was different than 2 weeks ago, which I just find curious because it wanted to be more practical.
Yeah.
So I just noticed things. I go, wow, this is just a lot more practical. Well, we're in this eclipse. We're in the date that Karen just read off, where this is part of the physical time. I just look at, wow. So it really says to me that we're going to be asked to be very practical in the next couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have these tools down? Do you have something you can go to support yourself and to keep moving? That's what this says to me, the way this webinar came out. Plus it's a nice foundation for you guys. I know a lot of you have been asking for some of this stuff. So why don't we just go around and have everybody, only, you don't have to, but if you want to share how this maybe felt helpful, or how you feel like this might be a tool that you can use now more consciously in your day-to-day and time moving forward. Since I'm looking at Karen, we're going to start there.
I was just writing down the date today, and so I don't know if I misspoke, but 0 is the equivalent of, is it 13 or 16?
0 is, okay, this is where it gets it changes itself. It gets a little weird. So 0 is really 15.
15.
Because there's a whole thing about it. It's really, it's 1, 5 looks like it is. And so it's really, it put itself 15 and 0 wanted to be is. I don't know. It's a weird thing, but that's how it wanted to read itself. So, yeah. But you know, you don't have to do the 2020, but if you look at today as 1, 2, well, I guess 20, whenever there's a 0 in, like in numerology, it amplifies whatever it follows.
Yeah, well, that makes sense because 15 is advance. So it's
so there you go.
Advance. So yeah, and then it's got a clear advance, one set upon this course. It's like, yeah, we're moving forward.
Right.
Like, so yeah, being very practical to me, that means like, if we're moving forward and this is going faster and faster, then be very clear and just be succinct. And to me, I still enjoy the process. You know, I don't feel, there's a little bit of fear there, but I don't feel fearful. I feel like I have tools to be able to navigate through this.
Okay. And thank you. That's awesome. And I'm just going to say something. When we notice we have fear is really, remember, that's of the mind. Okay. Yeah. And it's also a combo pack of 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of those core 4 emotions.
Oh yeah. Yep. Okay.
So you want to look at, wow, is there, and fear a lot of times is worry.
Yeah.
But none of us want to admit we feel worried, because remember, we're just experiencing the energy of it. We're not using it as state of being. Yeah. So yeah. So thanks, Karen. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Why don't we go to Sue? Sue, do you want to share next?
Sure. I'm delighted to get this tonight, because I've been asking this for a long time, obviously. But
I know.
It's changed and morphed, and here we are with a whole new thing again. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting this mastered, or at least have the key first and then mastering it. Because I know that what you're saying is that it can direct so much of what's going on. And if you are paying attention, you know, it makes it a lot easier to navigate. So I appreciate this.
It does.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's so, okay, I had this encounter with someone and I felt whatever and they whatever, and wow, what was at play here? What was my essence showing me, you know, or, you know, is it time for ready, move, go, you know, or whatever with this. So yeah.
Well, so how long?
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, well, just curious, how long has this piece been in place? This calendar.
It just came through. It just came through in January here.
Okay.
It's brand new.
It's that new.
It is.
Okay.
It's that new. Yeah, because the other one carried us all the way. It was Soul, and that carried us all the way through last year and into just bridging into this year.
Okay. Wow. Do we anticipate another? Do we anticipate another one?
Oh yeah, I guess there's quite a few layers to this. And remember, this is part of the Ascension map. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know how long this is going to be here. Who knows? I would say a while, because it's essence.
Sure.
We have to master essential. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Kathy, are you there yet?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Hi.
I just love that when I feel something or become aware of something, that I can go to that clock and be like, oh, what else is here for me? That is going to be really cool.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to print it off and keep it with me so I have it everywhere.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Really
Yeah.
good.
Good. And I just quickly share these cool glasses that you have.
Oh yeah, they're blue blockers, so they're good to wear in the evenings when you're on your device, so that the blue lighting doesn't make your body think that you're at high noon, basically.
Yes.
It's also really good to protect our eyesight, because I think because we're exposed to so much blue light, I think we don't even quite know yet the impact that that's going to have long term on our eyeballs. So,
Right.
So how does this work with regular prescription glasses?
I would ask them to put a coating on, because there is a clear coating that they can put on there that will block 40%. This blocks, because it's an orange tint, it'll block more like 60 to 80. But even if you could block 40, oh, that's great. So yeah, they can put it on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
You could put the website where you got them or whatever in the notes too.
Oh yeah, I will.
Yeah, if you want to share that. Thanks, Kathy. Anita, are you still with us? She's still here? Or did we lose Anita? Okay. Patty, why don't you share next?
I love this group. I get so many great tips. Thanks, Kathy. I need to get my glasses coated. And just, the same thing. When something comes up, I can go a little deeper, not just scratch the surface about, what's there for me, the tips on journaling, and my hand is connected to my heart. I mean, that just helps me go a little deeper and make sure to allow me to shift further or process further. The clock is another great tool. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Patty. Okay. Jennifer, do you feel like you want to share?
Yes. What's here for me is, I feel like the clock is just a great touchstone, because as I go through my day, I have varying moments of being aware and less aware.
Mm-hmm.
The clock is always there, so it's a perfect reminder.
It is always there.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks.
I've been a journaler. Journaling is something that just has always worked for me, but the few things you shared, it's kind of like up-leveled it for me. So that you added so much more to that too. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Good. I'm glad it was helpful. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, who else do we have there? Because I can't see everybody now.
Jennifer?
Who hasn't shared?
I'll just say.
Oh, Lauren, yes.
Yeah.
Hi.
Journaling is not very easy for me, because I just like to type everything, organize it, file it right away. It's done. But I've been spending more time lately kind of doing my writing by hand. So that's been nice. And using the new clock to just kind of bring me messages throughout the day, I'm excited to use and do.
Awesome. Great. Did I miss anybody else, or are we all good? I think we're good then. So I just want to give you some more conscious languaging. This just came through for me today. I started writing, I was processing something, and instead of saying, it reminded me of, my hand started putting and then of course I was going to write mind, right? But hand wouldn't even write mind. It said, re-heart this.
Oh.
Instead of this experience reminded me of something in my past, it just had me re-heart it. And so more and more, let's take the mind out of it. So we want to re-heart this. So instead of, oh yeah, this whole pattern's here, it reminded me of blah, blah, blah. Well, let's have it re-heart us. There's something essential about that wording. I feel it in my body. So doing this journaling re-hearted me really, it brought all that stuff back into me and integrated it. So it was no longer outside of myself. It was within me. Does that make sense? Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's what I wanted to leave you with tonight. My heart, I want to go out and just hug you all. And thank you so much for all the love and all the wishes, everything you guys have been sending my way. I have completely felt hugged and embraced and supported through this process. So we will probably be doing these, 2 times a month, every other week. So if we look at our calendar, what would be the next one, Karen? Do you have that?
It would be
February
3rd.
3rd.
Yeah, which is the Super Bowl night.
Oh, okay. How many football plans? You guys have plans? We could change it. We can go down one more. You guys do?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to wait a couple weeks in and go to the 10th? Or what would it be? Yeah. Would it be the 10th?
Yeah, it would be the 10th. Yeah. Or we could do next week and skip the following week. It's up to everybody.
What does everybody feel? Share. What's here?
Next
Either
week
works for me. No preference.
You have no preference? How about you, Kathy?
Next week works good.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel that. I kind of feel that because there's going to be this essential push. Crunch time, Mara called it. And we'll see what came through on the next level here. But if that works, we'll just plan on next week.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll only do one in February.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Can I just
go
share?
ahead. Sure.
Next week, it feels good. I just want to let you know I'm going to be in New Orleans next week. I'm going for work. But I'm flying out on the 27th.
Okay.
I will maybe I can connect from there. I don't have to see, but I think
Well, and I'll make sure I send you the link just on your phone because it's
that'd be great.
And then you can just click in, even if you just can come to part of it or whatever.
Perfect. That sounds great.
And if you guys want, I can do the invite via your cell phones. I just didn't want to start a thread and have people responding and then everybody else's phone's dinging off. You know what I mean? When you get on group text. So if you want to do that, I mean, I can. Just don't respond to that thread. Okay? That's all I'm saying, so that everybody isn't getting all these extra texts for no reason. You can send it in an individual text to me if you want. But okay, well, let's plan on next week. We'll meet and we'll pick this up. And there will probably, I have a couple other things that are wanting to be shared, probably via email, that you can look forward to as well. So I am sending you all a great heart hug, and I thank you all for showing up. Okay? Be well. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Good night. Bye.
Night.
Good night.